and we are back with the Counter-Strike Casuals. Oh, hang on, not transitioned. Hello. Good day.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. How
Something,
do you, mate?
something in my eye. Sorry.
How, how, how
Drink.
are you?
Oh. Drinking a Brooklyn for all our American fans because I checked the Spotify numbers and the majority of our listeners on Spotify are American, as I've said before. So shout out you guys. It's a Brooklyn, and of course that Brooklyn is brewed by Carlsberg, Wolverhampton. So cheers.
Oh, there you go.
That famous part of Brooklyn. I'm alright. How are you? I've got something in my eye, but I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Yeah, can't complain.
Excellent. Can you just start us off?
Right, so let's get straight into it. Let's just go straight into CS. Pro League finished. We both did some calls on the last show, like we normally do, who we thought was going to meet the final.
Yes. Please
I,
reveal all.
if my memory's right, I think you said Australis were going to win.
Yeah, and I think they did a bloody good job to get as far as they did.
Yeah. I think Australis did really well, to be fair. I said Vitality, and obviously Vitality got to the final. I said Vitality VP, but Mouse, that's a bit of a statement, isn't it? 3-0.
Yeah, I think so, and I can't believe Vitality because I watched a bit of the first map and that was about it. I think I was actually playing a real life sport when the actual final was on, and I was checking the results. And when Mouse won the first map, I was like, "Fucking hell!" I actually think this could be. I thought it was going to be 3-1. Is what I actually thought it was going to be to Mouse when I saw like just the score and stuff. But mate, I don't know what's going on with Vitality. The thing is, Messi had what felt like a really good tournament whenever I saw him play. Everyone seems to moan about him, but I thought he had a really good tournament, or the stats seem to suggest so. Yeah, Zyru just dropped off the face of the earth after basically dominating FaZe and with some of the maddest shots I've ever seen on Nuke when he just battered FaZe, just dropped off the face of the earth. I don't know. Is
Yeah,
it?
well, I feel like Australis were due a good tournament since they've been playing fairly badly for their standards in the past few tournaments. And Zyru definitely showed up. And do you know what? I found this so interesting because I was listening to a few podcasts and bits here and there, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Monis is like the best in the world," blah blah blah. And then a few people were saying, "Well, it's him and Donk. It's between those two." And in my head, I'm just thinking, has Zyru like retired or something? Because the guy literally just won fucking best player in the world at the end of last year or start of this year, whenever it was, and he's still fucking sick. And Donk's not even been playing. We've not seen Spirit at all. Honestly, yeah, he's great, but for the fact that people aren't even mentioning his name, he's just a bit fucking mental.
Well, I think he won MVP for this. He definitely didn't step up in the final. Um, he farmed a lot of lower tier teams, which he does very well. I mean, obviously his quality, man, but you just want him to turn up in a game like that against Mouse and just like you want him just to wipe the floor, and he just still doesn't quite seem to do it. That's the problem. And that's why. But then again, I guess Monacy is playing very well, but not getting to finals. But I don't know. Would you argue that's everyone around him? I mean, G2. Let's just very quickly touch on G2. We'll come back to so, mate. G2 lost a map against 3D Max. They lost to G2 Mouse, sorry, and the Mouse one. They got pretty comfortably beat after the first map. They beat Mouse on Inferno, and then Vertigo and Nuke went pretty comfortably to Mouse way. Like G2 basically beat Big and 3D Max to get to the quarterfinals, then lost to the actual proper team Mouse. Like they just look absolutely dog.
Yeah, and considering they've got the best player in the world, according to some people on the team, but I feel like we have this conversation every week with G2.
Mm.
They just keep underperforming, and we've said about Monty numerous times. Kind of feel sorry for him. So Nico had a pretty good tournament,
Yep.
to be fair. So you've got Nico having a good tournament, Monty playing pretty well. They still shouldn't have got rid of JKS, right? That's the gist of it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. They had a better chance with Jake, yes.
But they're one
But
of those teams. Like Vitality should. So back to Vitality, they should
sorry,
be
back to
winning
that.
more anyway because they've got a pretty stacked roster. Like I think I didn't watch this finals. I've got to admit, I've not seen any of them. Not seen highlights, nothing. But just looking at this from an outside perspective, it's just I would have to say they got out the EGL. They got outplayed by
Mm,
the in-game leaders. I know Apex won it, the best in-game leader, but like I've said, I think if I think of all the top 5 rosters now, I do think Vitality is probably the most stacked, joint with FaZe.
right. Yeah.
Um,
What as a like a player for player roster?
yeah, I would say so. They've got Zywoo, arguably the best player in the world. They've got Flames, who's an insane rifler. Spinks,
Yeah.
ridiculous rifler. Meze, who I think is actually very good, very good at his positions. He has very difficult roles, right? And he does a very good job.
Mm.
And then you've got Apex, who can frag now and again for an in-game leader, but I don't think I'm not as high on him as everyone else is. And I've said this in the past. He's got a stacked team. He should be winning more. Like they should be beating that mouse team. Um, I think Torzi's not even close to the AWP Zyru is. Um, Jimfat didn't even have a great tournament against them.
No, he didn't have a great tournament all through the playoffs. To be fair, he wasn't really up
Um,
there.
Brolin, he's arguably not as good as Spinks or Flames. The
Mm.
only anomaly I see is Shuey. Like, I just think he's a much better in-game leader. Like, I'm really high on Mouse. I think they're such a sick team. I didn't have them going through to the finals this time, but every other tournament I've been pretty high on them, and I, I'm super happy that they won this tournament. I think they
Yeah,
deserve it. And if these guys stick together, they're going to be so good.
mate. Yeah. I mean, back-to-back Pro League wins. Again, we spoke about it last podcast. Mouse love to make. Well, they've won arguably one of the harder tournaments to win because of the amount of like games you have to play. Although it was a short tournament, yeah, fair play to them. Congratulations, they deserve it. And then I mean,
Do you know who Shuey looks like for our English fans out there?
who?
Lee Evans.
Oh yeah, a bit I guess. I can see it, but like his son.
Yeah. Um,
The other thing I wanted to say though is complexity, man. They were a big surprise for me at how well they went, and I mean they went to the semis losing to Mouse, right? And all of the maps except for the last one were pretty close. And
Smashing VP and Elige absolutely dominating that game. Rating was 1.75.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they're a big surprise. I didn't think they'd go as far as they did. So fair play to them, man. They look good. I'm glad you need an NA team like them, more liquid to be up there, right? You need one NA team.
Yeah, but they need a team that you actually think is going to win a tournament. Like, complexity aren't that team, even when they're playing really well, like they are at the moment, right? We're like, oh, they're doing really well. That's because they're exceeding our expectations. If Liquid, if Liquid were doing as well as them, we'd be more excited. Like,
Yeah,
I expect Liquid to win a tournament. I don't expect Complexity to, even though Complexity are playing better Counter Strike.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The other thing I was thinking as well, I was listening to Elise on Talking Counter today actually,
Mm.
and I was thinking, whenever I listen to a player on a big interview or podcast like that, I always feel like they're gonna play well and have a better tournament. And I feel there's something to be said about the way they come across in interviews. I feel like the self-reflection and kind of calmness, I feel like when you're doing an interview or a podcast and you come across as calm and collected and you're talking about yourself and you're talking about your team, it's a little bit of reflection of yourself and the team. And for some reason, I feel like people always play better if they have like a semi-comfortable interview, not if they get roasted. And I think players being comfortable with themselves and their teammates is like really important in the pro scene.
Interesting. Okay.
And I've always thought this, like whenever I listen to an interview, if the player sounds like quite comfortable and come across really well in the interview, I think, oh, I might stick them in my fantasy team.
Oh, really? So did Elige go in? But that
So
interview was mid
no,
pro
because I've only
league.
just listened to it today,
Oh,
and I didn't realize he had such a good game against VP. Like I knew they won, but I didn't realize he had such a good game.
yeah. I
And
think he came across really well in that, and he came
he
across
did,
as someone that really cared about his health and like his. He came across as someone that's like always trying to do better.
yeah, very very mature and kind of comfortable in himself would be the best way to describe how he came across.
I mean, he's pretty experienced in this game in particular. He's probably been doing it long enough to know what he should and shouldn't be doing. So fair play. But I think a lot of young people, younger up and coming pros, could learn from people like him. The interesting thing I thought about this pro league, yeah, is I watched more of the group stages than the playoff games just because of live, and I feel like everything felt like it was a really enjoyable thing to watch. But then the Dust 2 USA guys released an article saying it had like the lowest viewership in ever. Like, what was it? It was a headline is ends with a 5-year low in peak viewership. So
Yeah, and that surprised me. To be fair, I don't know what the weather was like around the world, but the weather was pretty great here. So
it,
everybody was out doing things.
it was that
And
weekend.
I didn't watch anything. And I just felt like it was a busy weekend for me. And that's why I didn't catch anything. And I have this really delusional view that when I'm busy, everybody's busy.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but this weekend was really nice, yeah. So I was out and about doing things and very busy making the most of the good weather that we rarely get in here in the UK. So that's why I didn't watch any, mainly
So why didn't anyone else in the world watch then?
because I was busy.
They got the memo, mate. They just thought, fuck it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm guessing, I don't know, mate. Like, I guess, no, like,
Some of the
I don't
times
know
for the group,
what the viewership like in the UK. I imagine it's not that big.
I can't imagine. Are the UK big watchers of actual Counter Strike? I don't feel like we would be compared to Europe and so, some of the
But
other.
the content was really good.
The content
This was
was standout.
probably the best, like, fillers and skits that I've seen.
Hands down, and I think that's the best talent mix pool. Like I think everyone that was there was like enjoyable to watch and listen to. So I think those guys smashed it. Honestly, that's the kind of
Yeah, ESL did such a good job.
yeah. But why didn't more people tune in then? What would it be? I
I
want,
heard people saying it was too long and there was too many games and it dragged out a little bit.
but they shortened it compared to usual. They'd cut it by whatever. Wasn't it not used to be 5 weeks and this was 3 weeks or something? So maybe, but I think I wonder if maybe because there was a few American teams there though, but
Well,
there was no Brazilian teams. I think the Brazilians bring a lot of
yeah.
membership viewership.
Well, I'm looking at the elimination bracket now, and the biggest teams who've gotten it. FaZe, they got knocked out pretty early, right?
Yeah, FaZe
Um,
didn't even get to the quarterfinals. Oh yeah, they did. They lost the quarterfinals and they not to the semis.
Liquid, I think your big teams are FaZe and Navi, right? They're the most watched. Astralis, I guess, have a pretty big team.
No Brazilian teams, I think, is a big one, and
Yeah,
no
possibly.
Russian team we've got. VP was probably the closest. I would have thought they bring a lot of viewers actually, but all I'm saying is
No,
if you didn't watch it, you missed out because it was bloody good. Some of the timings of the
yeah.
games were a bit off as well for like us. I mean, I'd be at work some some days I couldn't watch them. I think they start like 11 a.m., 12 midday. That's
Do you
just
think?
never going to work.
Do you think? Yeah, they had loads of good content, but do you think they could maybe market the games and the times and stuff a bit better? Because the only way I know what time a game is HLTV.
Yeah, but how else would you find out? How else do you want to know? Surely you just check HLTV. That's like your
Maybe like in between games during any part of the tournament, they could advertise like the finals and semi-finals and whatnot in between games when they're
what
doing
saying
all the
this is when
skins
the
and
final
stuff.
will be. Make sure you watch out for it.
Tune in and shit.
Maybe, maybe. Um, right. Just quickly, yeah. Are we? Do you think we're covering Pro League? Are we happy on Pro League
Yeah,
or?
yeah. I think we're
Mate,
more than
it's
covered.
straight into Bet Boom Datcha.
Yeah,
There's already been all of the first round of the Group A game, so look, we won't go
yeah.
too much into this. I've not watched any of it. I just saw the results and V.
Well, yeah.
Gone.
I could have predicted it. I've seen the results, but you could have predicted it, right?
Yeah, I think so. There might have been a slight question mark over Mouse just feeling a bit. We just won something and we're going straight into this, but mate, they're young as fuck. They're probably just like whatever. Let's just go again. Let's just
Yeah,
grind again.
they're fucking loving it.
But
To be
mate,
fair, Bet Boom did pretty well. They got 11 rounds first game, first map, and 12 in the second. It went to overtime on Vertigo. So
I can't believe Falcons. I don't know what to do there. I don't know what to say.
this has surely got to be.
Last, if they don't make a run here, what last ditch like that? That something's
Yeah,
got to
this is.
change.
Yeah, surely.
Who'd you change? I don't even know what you do there.
You've got to get rid of Snappy at this stage. It's just not working. He's
Really?
he was the lowest fragger of everybody.
Yeah, but
Everybody.
he is
Last
IGL.
time. Yeah, but everybody.
So Madden's been playing poorly as well.
Yeah, Madden's one of those guys where it's proper hit and miss. Um, it's just an average team when you think about it. You look at the roster actually, like
Yeah, I think there's hype
there's
before, but then actually when
there's
you really,
no
yeah,
there's no star, is there? Like Sumpius is good, but he's not at that star level. They need Magis needs like a star rifler next to him.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I don't think we should touch too much on this because I think we talked a lot about the pro scene and we've got a topic we want to touch on. But quickly, should we just call some winners now of it? Then who's going to win Betboom Datcha?
Spirit.
Yeah, I don't see how
Yeah.
anyone, even though we've not
Yeah.
seen them play, I just don't see how anyone wins.
No, I was looking at it before. I was like, oh, who do I think is gonna win this? And then just saw Spirit and was like, oh yeah, those guys. So okay, let's move on. Before we go any further, let's do the skin shout out
Yeah, okay,
before
fine.
we get towards the end of the podcast because on the last podcast we said we were going to do this. So you've kind of been in charge of this, so I'll let you do it.
Okay, so to celebrate over a year of doing this and all the episodes, and actually just everyone supporting us, because we are still a young, coming up channel and we are casual, we would still like to say thank you. So we are going to do a skin giveaway. We're going to give away a field tested Neon Rider AK, which is worth 50 quid plus. I think when I last checked on Marketplace, it was like 57 quid English pounds, so whatever you want to equate that to. We're going to give that away. We're going to draw it at random from all the people that subscribe to our YouTube channel. So the way to win is just subscribe to our. Your chance to win is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You do need to probably have your subscriptions public. By the way, if they're private, we actually can't see if you subscribe to add you into the pool. But subscribe on YouTube. That's it. It is so simple. We will then do it at random, pull it out, and someone will win a field tested Neon Rider AK skin. We're going to do the win it on the 28th of May podcast, so in 2 weeks today. We're recording this on a Tuesday, so plenty of time, and yeah, it should be the easiest odds you'll ever win of a skin like this, right?
Yeah,
You pointed it out.
it's gotta be your highest odds. Like, if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. It literally costs you nothing. We don't post loads of content either. It's just like one a week, if that.
Well, I
So
don't know. The shorts are churning out at the moment, to be fair, but don't.
yeah,
You know what? We'll even cheat for you. You don't have to put the notification bell on, so you don't get notified. Just subscribe, but then turn off any
yeah.
notifications.
But yeah,
We're like the opposite of
I would
content creators that are like
yeah,
subscribe, bell, like, follow. We're like, just subscribe once and we'll give you 50 quid maybe.
yeah. Which I've just checked. That is almost $63 American dollars.
All right, yeah.
But
So
yeah, subscribe. Make sure you keep listening to the podcast to find out who has won. And I guess we can message them on YouTube or whatever, and
we
we'll get
could,
their details.
yeah, we'll do whatever. But yes, please do subscribe, and we will do it in 2 weeks' time. We need to. That's reminded me what else we need to do, but that's a separate conversation. So yeah, that's good. Right, okay. If there's one player in the world, really, that you would like to play like, who would it be? Who on this planet, in the whole of the Counter Strike scene, do you want to play like?
Donk.
Right. Yes. Who else?
Right. I don't want to play like this guy, but you want me to say S1mple.
No, I want you to say Carrigan. Okay, yeah, it's simple.
Okay.
Okay. So S1mple launch yesterday. It was yesterday actually. Whilst I was playing Face It launched on the Face It app. It's called Play Like S1mple, and it is a.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I can't help but laugh.
Why are you laughing?
Just because I've seen it.
So okay, right. We're casual players. We're not that good at this game. We're excited. We're thinking, let's go. Let's play like S1mple. Let's do this. So we've signed up, which we have. We've not paid any money because I couldn't work out how much it costs or anything yet. If anyone knows, please comment.
Yeah.
We've watched the first free lesson. There's a free lesson. It's simple. He's teaching us. He's gonna fucking show us how to. He's gonna train us to no flick scope an AWP from halfway across the map and then get a pistol out and headshot 3 people. No, he's not. Yeah. He's gonna talk to us in a monotone Ukrainian way and tell us what an eco round is. So, if anyone hasn't watched this, it's simple.
So describe. Yeah, go on. Describe visually how it looks. He's sat there, right?
He's sat there at home. Yeah, in Cologne, because he lives in Cologne.
What's he wearing? Please tell us.
No, he's sat in Cologne. Yeah, this is how it goes. He's sat in Cologne and he's thinking, oh, fucking hell, I'd love to play Counter-Strike competitively again. Like, I really want to get back into it, CS2 now, because everyone's, like, gassed off it. Oh, Navi just won a major, so I can't go back there. I best do something quick. Let's make a project and teach people how to play Counter-Strike. And it feels like that's what's happened, and they've just, like, rushed it together. And he's called Face It. Face It have gone, yeah, of course we're all S1mple. Let's just do it. And then he's sat in a room where he's in just like some fucking V-neck jumper and a shirt. You honestly know what he's wearing. At a desk that's clear, and he's just running around Anubis on his own, just running around Anubis with his knife out, talking about the odd nade lineup, what you should do in an eco round. Which, guys, I'm gonna break this to you. You don't even need to watch the video. His eco round advice is to get the opponent to waste utility and nades and then get some kills. That was his advice for eco round. And like, obviously it's simple. He's obviously incredible and a lot better than could ever dream of being at this game. But I just expected something a bit more insight. I don't know what it was. I don't know what I was expecting. I can't tell you what I was expecting, but the first minute was telling me on an eco round to get them to waste utility and get some kills. So I was just a bit like, okay. I
was expecting more, like the whole way through.
Yeah, and then
go on.
No, because I don't just ridicule it completely. Go on, you say what do you think?
I mean, you've said a lot there. So yeah, he's the way he comes on and he's like, "Hey guys, That's not simple anyway.
Yeah, it did
You
feel.
know.
It felt very. Like, I must admit, actually, his persona and personality felt a bit more polished than usual, but it had to be, otherwise I
Yeah.
wouldn't know what the
It's
fuck he's saying all the time.
made very, very professionally. It's really good quality. The production is sick. Like it looks very, very crisp and clean and very well put together. But Simple is just not cut out for this kind of material. Like
Yeah, this is it. This
who's
is
like
it.
are the best managers and coaches and teachers in the world the best players? No, he is not the best teacher in the world. For one, I find it really hard to stay engaged and stay listening to him. Like his accent is really strong, and I find it quite difficult to listen to. Maybe in Russian, it's easier to.
He's,
Maybe he's
he's,
obviously it's going to be easier to understand.
he's,
But
he's Ukrainian. I think you might insult him if you say he's Russian.
what language is he talking though? Russian, right?
Uh, yeah, I'd pass. I don't speak Ukrainian or Russian.
Ukrainian. Okay. Um, but I find it difficult to understand in person anyway. Um, and he's just not the type of personality to do this. I feel like he would have been better getting different coaches. I had this when I was watching it. I had this thought of if like a masterclass type website where if he could have created a masterclass website where he had people like Carrigan, people like Blade, just Zonic, people, coaches mainly, or people that are good at articulating themselves, teaching people how to play Counter Strike, and also this feels like it's made towards like low level teams. It's not It's not a good for single player mechanics or teaching one guy how to play well at Counter Strike. It's kind of general conceptions of how to play as a team. Like, oh, you guys need to do this, and if there's a guy here, then you should be rotating. And it's just general philosophies about the game, and it's just I don't know who it's made for. I don't know why it's going to be of any use to, or who it's going to be any use to, other than maybe the odd like semi-pro team.
Well, I think even then, the problem with this, I'll tell you the problem with this is anyone that seeks out a training video by a person called S1mple will already know what a fucking eco round is and would already know when an eco round's going to occur or when a force buy is going to happen. For half the video, he's reading a script or a teleprompter, like just looking at the screen going, an eco round is when you can't afford to buy anything and you should be wary of bomb plants on, and like you can tell he's just reading a script. It's like, what are we watching here? Like, Jesus Christ. I want to know, like, they would have been better. This is how you solve it. You have him playing a face it game, yeah, an FPL game, up the levels, an FPL game, and he is playing it as normally as he would, and then he basically writes the script of what he would have done and got someone else to like
Yeah,
talk it through. So it's like
I was thinking this when I was watching it. It would have been better with a voiceover.
voiceover or him voiceovering him what he's doing in an actual FPL game. Oh, when they start to push here, what I typically like to do is smoke that and then communicate with my teammates to Molly. I'll always do that. Then I'll drop back to here because of this, this, and this. He was just running around Anubis. Also, it was all Anubis focus. So it's like one map. I mean, I can't even remember some of the nades he mentioned, but if I do need to know nades, I just quickly Google or go on Not Out Here Anubis nades. I don't watch simple tuition video who tells
I
me what an ego
almost
is.
I almost feel a little bit sorry for him because I feel like he has put quite a lot of effort into this and he's been talking about it for a while and talking about what such a big thing it is. And I kind of
No, this can't be
do
the
feel sorry for
project
him
he's
because it's
talking.
like, yeah, I mean, you know,
Is this the big project? It must be.
yeah, it is.
All right.
I don't know whether it's like
Well, now
I'm
I
just
feel bad.
I do, but
God, now I feel
it's
bad.
just like what's I was thinking this the other day, like what's left for Simple now? Because he said in that interview since Navi won the major, things have changed, and I think it's over for him. honestly, I think it's over. Like he came back to Falcons, had an absolute mare. I still think in his head he is like the best player in the world. He thinks he's the best player in the world. He said something like a team. He wants to go to a team that either build around him or build around someone really good. If they build around someone really good and he's happy to be like, the second or third option, then I think he could do well. But he's not that guy, is he?
Simple. Like, what are you on about? Surely, if he wants to just come back and be the best player in the world, he probably can be. Well,
You
I don't
think he?
know. I don't know,
I,
mate.
I
We need to see
this
him.
this is what I'm saying. I'm saying he can't. He
I think
can't.
he
He
can.
could not come back and be the best player in the world. Zywu's too good. Donk's too good. Monas is too good. The guy's not played for ages. If he comes back now, he is not going to be the best player in the world. And I don't think, is he going to warp? Is he going to rifle? What's he going to do? I just don't think he can do it. I think no matter how much he wants it and how much he tries, I don't think he could do it.
Interesting. Okay. I think he could if he really wanted to. If he wanted to just come back and like put his all into it and played with a lighter perspective on it all, I reckon he actually could become or be number
Yeah,
one or at least second to Donk. So I've already
I
backtracked
think
there.
he was already second to Zywoo, right?
In more recent times, yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't think he could. He's got the I don't think he's got the ability anymore. He's not played enough, and mentally, he still thinks he's the best in the world. And I think, like I said on the last podcast, you've got to be fairly modest to stay at that level.
Humble.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay. Well, look. The this play like simple thing. Yeah, it's one free video at the moment. They're doing another two free ones, and then you can pay for it, and you get I think 55 videos
yeah.
over.
It says 55 plus lessons.
But there's no prices. I don't think unless I've been stupid and missed it. So I don't know how much it costs. So you can't actually judge value for money, especially for people like us who I don't know. Is it aimed at? I say like it's really hard to work out who's aimed at. I guess it's something I would always be intrigued by. But again, it's subject to knowing price, which we
It
don't
says,
know.
can one of these questions, can I cancel a subscription after purchasing the course? Unfortunately, this option is not available.
That's good. So that's
Blah
it.
blah 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 blah, which I kind of expected. But the only people I think that might be buying this are simple fans, because I maybe I feel bad saying that, but like kind of delusional kids that want to be good at CS, and you can get better content on YouTube, right?
That's it. That's
Better,
what
better
I think.
lessons. And
I think that and just
there's
playing the
some good
game.
YouTubers that are there because they are good and they're good at helping people and they know how to make like say the right things and
Mate,
improve players and make improvements. Simple doesn't know all this.
Mate, Warow used to make killer CS, not CS2, but CSGO videos saying about in what round you should buy what or what's a good. Even his advice on what a good he used to have good videos on saying, oh, if you've got 4K as a CT, the FAMAS is probably a better option over an MP9 at the moment. Like that kind of chat, which I think is more valuable, kind of talking in the meta sense than
Yeah.
just.
I've heard like in podcasts in general chit chat when like pro players, not all of them, but now and again one of them will be like, mention a gun or mention
Well,
something
Elise
to do
talks
at a
about
specific
the
time.
UMP, doesn't he? Or
Yeah,
he
the
calls it.
armor penetration or
Yeah, which is interesting because after I heard that, I think I tried it in a Faceit game and it didn't go that well. I think I
yeah.
still prefer the MP9.
Well, he did kind of say like the MP9 kills people faster, right? So
Yeah,
it kind of is a better gun, but for some reason it works for him.
I still fuck with the auto shotty though, mate. That gun bangs. Anyway, um, okay. Listen, I think we're getting probably towards the end now. Simple. Thanks for your lessons. You're the goat,
Thanks,
but
thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, we're just gonna continue to be shit. I think it's just easier.
And we need to talk about the boys. Blame F. Blame F. The muscle man. He's come to the big boys. He's in the big boy team. Let's go.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Once when we were at a LAN, Insomnia. Shout out Insomnia, by the way. They've gone bust. That's sad
Have
news.
they actually gone bust? I
Well,
thought
the
it's
company that
maybe.
owns it is making redundancies. I don't think they've gone bust. It's bad news, but it's not good for yeah. I don't know. It's not good for the
Can
UK
you get to
scene.
your point? Because we were just talking about Fnatic signing
Sorry,
Blame F.
but my point there was that someone once got gassed by your Fnatic t-shirt at Insomnia Land when we were there. Anyway, that was it. And it was a nice segue to recent news. Anyway, Blame F has joined Fnatic. Cool. What does that mean then? Is Fnatic saved? I'm glad to see. Do you know what? I'm kind of glad to see them sign someone like that. I think it's a bit exciting from a Fnatic point of view.
Yeah. Is it exciting?
I think so.
I guess it is. It brings a little bit of attention to the club, to the team, whatever organization. But I mean, Foreign did this. Did you see this? He put 5 teams together that could improve if they signed Blame F.
I did. I heard about it on another podcast, but I didn't. I didn't read this article
Yeah.
really.
So I've just got it up quickly. I've not read it either. I just heard about it. So G2 was one, which I thought, yeah, they could actually improve. I feel like he needs a team where he's not going to feel like he's the guy. And when they mentioned Fnatic, I was a little bit like, oh
He's gonna
no,
be the
mate.
guy.
Complexity was another team that he mentioned. Ents, which I think he could fit in Ents if Glaive wanted him. OG, I mean, why the fuck have you put OG in there? No one cares. And Fnatic. Um, but when they mentioned Fnatic, I was thinking, don't know because he was already a beta, right? He's gonna bait 10 times worse being on Fnatic. So the only way I can see this working is if Blame F has taken on board the criticism, looked at himself in the mirror, and he's going to admit, I need to stop
It's a
baiting.
beta.
Yeah, I need to play more team-based Counter
Big
Strike and
man
do
like
what.
Blame F in the mirror. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. Stop looking at your biceps and look at yourself and kind of do things for the team. Don't do things for yourself. Depending on how Fnatic can can use him, if they can use him right and they can play him right and kind of tame him, they could do well because Afro is fucking sick.
listen, it's definitely an upgrade for them as a team. I just, what does it mean for Fnatic? They probably go to like 22nd in the world. That's probably what happens.
I
That's
think Fnatic
where even are
need
they in the fucking ranks,
need a
man?
great
Fnatic,
in-game leader.
bro. They're not even in the top 30, are they anymore? Oh lord,
31.
are they?
Yeah. If
How can you expand? How do you expand the rankings?
Crims is pretty good, right? Getting on a bit, but it's pretty good. I do rate, that I rate Afro. Who did they get rid of? Oh, KUB. We'll
Yeah,
see. They're going to be better. I mean, they've been pretty awful as of late, so hopefully they're a little bit better.
yeah. Well,
So,
let's see.
yeah.
By the way, whilst we're recording this, I just saw a tweet from Faceit saying that Donk says, surprise,
Oh,
surprise, the king is back. With a mind-blowing win rate of 71% over 213 matches and an average of 22.8 kills per match.
insane.
So over 200 odd games, he's getting nearly 23 kills a game. Donk has reclaimed the number 1 spot in the European ELO rankings. So
Yeah,
if
insane.
there's ever going to be a doubt that Spirit are probably going to win, just bet boom. And because we've not seen them play in a while, right? Like, there's going to be any like drop off from Donk. Nope.
71% win rate.
Nearly 23 kills per game over 213 matches. That is insanity.
Who's second? Do we know?
His average kill to death ratio over 213 games, 1.72.
Yeah, guy's a joke. So when you ask me who I want to play like, there you go.
Fair play. Let's leave it
Just
at that.
run around, take heads.
Let's fucking leave it at that. GG's. Subscribe.
GG's, guys.
Be
Make sure
for
you
a chance
subscribe.
to,
Yeah, get yourself a skin. Let's go.
So